All right, what's going on, guys? Back again today, talking about something that, just like with the Snyder Cut, I'm kind of late to the game on, and that's WandaVision. So, WandaVision is Disney Plus's, I should say, not Marvel, but it's Disney Plus. It's their first attempt to do a Marvel TV series that takes place within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I don't think this is like a going to be like a multiple season type thing. I think this was just their alternative to doing a movie, especially with COVID being a thing. They decided rather than do a movie, let's just do a mini series on Disney Plus. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the way a lot of the Marvel Cinematic Universe goes from now on. Just mini series about the individual characters, and then maybe like once every 4 or 5 years, we get like a big feature film, Avengers film that comes out in theaters. But I wouldn't be surprised if that's how they do it because this actually worked really well. I was very skeptical at first going into watching WandaVision. The early trailers and whatnot pretty much just kind of made it look like it was like, hey guys, we're Marvel. You know Marvel, the Avengers, Scarlet Witch, Vision. Well, Thanos has been killed, so we don't got shit else to do. So we're gonna try and do a comedy show. We're gonna try and do a Marvel sitcom. Get ready. And I was like, I don't have any fucking interest in that whatsoever. I get it. Thanos is dead. This big chapter of the book is closed. Let's move on to the next book. Let's move on to the next chapter. Who's the next big villain? Let's go. And I think Marvel and Disney kind of realized this too because as it got closer to the show being about to premiere, they started to show more trailers that actually revealed like there's something else going on here. It's not just we're trying to do a sitcom with Marvel and Vision with Vision and Scarlet Witch. Sorry, there actually is some shit going on here, and it is straight up the MCU's version of House of M. This is probably as close as we're ever gonna get to a House of M storyline, and it's pretty fucking good. Spoiler alert: most people have watched it at this point, but spoiler alert: three, two, one. Wanda, in her grief over Vision being dead, has basically used her, reality altering telekinesis, mind bending powers to basically take over she's put up this like energy field around this entire fucking town, and she's controlling the lives of everyone down to like what they're wearing for clothing. Like if she wills it, if she wants it to, she can basically just be like, I want everything to look like a 1950s sitcom, and the entire town does. Everything's in black and white and it looks like a 1950s sitcom. At first, Wanda acts like she doesn't know it's her doing this, and maybe at first she doesn't know, but she figures it. She either knew the whole time and was just playing dumb, or she figures it out pretty quickly that she's behind it. Like she is the bad guy, so to speak, and that's kind of what we're poised with at the beginning of this show. Is that like the villain is Wanda. Vision isn't even real. Like everything from here is spoilers, by the way. Like I already gave the spoiler alert, but I'm not going to give a spoiler alert for every little thing. The show's been out for a while now. If you've watched it, great. If not, it's your own fault. Vision isn't even real. He is a psychic projection that she has made based on the part of the Mind Stone that imprinted itself on her, because her and her brother were experimented on by Baron von Strucker. She was experimented on using the Mind Stone, and a part of it that imprinted itself on her, she's using that plus her memory, combined with like her memories and experiences with Vision, to create almost like a psychic projection of Vision. But the Vision you see in the majority of the show, he's not even the real Vision. The real Vision is dead. Like his body, the Mind Stone was ripped from his forehead. He was torn apart, and she actually sees what's left of him. He's torn apart. Like they're scrapping his body for parts. Turns out it's this new organization, the alternative to Shield. It's called Sword. They're dismantling Vision in the hopes that they can reassemble him and make a weapon out of him. And they do, If anyone's familiar with the comic books with the all white Vision, we actually get that in this show. We see all white albino Vision. And by the end of it, and this is one of the things that really kind of I did not like about the show, by the end of the show, that Vision, the one he's all white and he's made from the reassembled parts and body parts of the original Vision, the one that Thanos killed. By the end of the show, that Vision, the all white one, gets his full memories back and he becomes Vision. Like Vision's back now. A physical, not just some psychic projection of Wanda's, actual Vision is back now. And he just takes the fuck off. Like he just takes the fuck off into the sky and flies away. Doesn't go down into the streets, talk to Wanda, figure out what the fuck's going on. He just takes off. Disney, Marvel, I get it. You like to do shit to try and draw us back for the next show or the next movie. But can you please, for the love of God, make it make sense? It made zero sense for him to just fly away. And I understand you're like, it doesn't make sense now. But give us like another 2 years to figure out how to fictionally make sense of it. And it'll make sense in the next movie. No, fuck you. Make it make sense when it happens. When I see it, I need to understand what I'm looking at and why I'm seeing it, why it's going on. Otherwise, I don't know. That just irritated me. The fact that real Vision comes back to life and he just flies the fuck away. The only other thing I didn't like about this show, I really don't have a lot to say in this video because I mostly loved it. I usually only have a lot to say when I hated something. And the only other thing I did not like about this show is the fact that, actually, it's two things, but they go hand in hand. Like I said, they start out kind of portraying like the villain, the antagonist of this miniseries is Wanda. It's Scarlet Witch. And that goes till about like the second to last episode. And then at the last minute, at the last minute, Disney and Marvel, they kind of realize like, yeah, but we kind of want her to be an Avenger later on, so we can't exactly just turn her into a complete villain. So we need to shoehorn another fucking piece of shit, bullshit villain in here. And this one neighbor, whose name is Agnes, that's her name is the neighbor. She turns out to be another evil witch. Yep. And they act like this was some kind of like big twist, like it was her all along doing everything. No. Agnes, like her real name is Agatha Harkness, and she is a character in Marvel Comics. She's this like evil witch that's obsessed with stealing the power of the Scarlet Witch. By the way, they finally call Wanda Scarlet Witch in this miniseries. Like she fully becomes the Scarlet Witch, this super powerful, magical being. She finds out that like even before the experiments by Strucker with the Mind Stone, she was already a witch. She was already magically powerful. The experiments just, if anything, enhanced it. So, yeah, Agatha Harkness, this villain they shoehorn into the end of the show. Like, I get it. They were probably planning on her being the villain the whole time. It just doesn't feel that way because they try to play it off like it's this big twist. It's like, oh, but you didn't see this coming, that she's the villain. And it's like, well, you're right. I didn't see it coming because there was no possible way to see it coming, because in none of the episodes leading up to this did you tease at all that there might be something going on. Like, here's the definition between a twist and a lie. A really good twist in a movie or TV show or anything like that is when the true answer is right in front of you the whole time. The writer, the movie maker, whatever, they just do a good job of, it's there right in front of you the whole time, but it's there so subtly that you overlook it. But once it's been revealed to you, if you go back and you rewatch the movie or reread the book from the beginning, you see it. You're like, oh, how did I not notice? This was there the whole time. How did I not notice? That's a good twist. Just going, hey, this person's not a villain. No, they're not a villain. No, they're not a villain. No, they're definitely not a villain. They're just, this person is not a villain. Hey, dude, how many times do I gotta tell you they're not a villain? Okay, hey, guess what? They're a villain. That's not a twist. That's just a lie. So that's how this Agatha Harkness thing fell. And she was just shoehorned into the end of this show to, one, save Wanda from being the true antagonist and, just changing her status from complete hero to complete villain, which in my opinion it still should be. Like, after watching this show, fuck Wanda. I'm sorry. Let's just go ahead and jump into that, because that's the next thing that makes me mad I don't like about this show. I don't like how it tries to go back on what Wanda did. Wanda held an entire town hostage and used psychological. She was a terrorist. She became a terrorist in this miniseries. She held an entire town hostage against their will and used her powers to force them to play little pretend games. She psychologically tortured them for weeks. Days or weeks, one of the two. And everyone throughout the show, every once in a while, certain characters start trying to say, like, you got to give her a break. She's going through grief. Try to understand. She's grieving. There is no level of grieving that makes terrorism acceptable. So trying to preach that guys, it's sadness and feelings trump everything. When people are having feelings, we have to put reality on pause and think and deal with these feelings. Fuck your feelings. That's what I have to say. I don't give a fuck what anyone's feeling. It's no justification for terrorism. So I think that's a stupid ass fucking message to put in this show. And it was definitely there. It was subtle, but it was definitely there. That it's like, hey, look, like, people do crazy things when they're sad, okay? And you shouldn't judge them for it. You should just be understanding because they're real sads. No, fuck you. If you get so sad that you commit terror, that's like saying that, like, we shouldn't feel bad for school shooters because they might have been bullied. I don't give a fuck how bullied you are. It doesn't give you an excuse to take a fucking gun into a school and start shooting kids. So, yeah, I don't give a... Wanda should have just been the villain. Like, that's... Honestly, it should have come down to a Vision versus Wanda fight. You know what I mean? The real Vision, that white Vision, should have come back. Because what they do is S.W.O.R.D. sends in this reconstructed all-white Vision robot that basically works for them. It doesn't really have a will of its own at first. They send that in to take down Wanda. And the fake Vision that Wanda has constructed starts fighting it. And they start talking and fighting, and eventually the fake one helps the all-white real one to get his full memory back. When that happens, it should have been like the full culmination. Vision has returned, and it should have been Vision going, I'm back. I have my full memory. I know what the fuck's going on. I need to stop Wanda. And it should have been a Vision versus Wanda fight. But it wasn't. It was, let's shoehorn in this other villain so we can keep the hero status of this character intact. She's not a hero. She's a terrorist. Fuck her. Fuck that message that, like, doing horrible things to people is okay if you're just really sad and have some serious feelings. Fuck that. But aside from those three things, that message, Vision just taking off when he returns, and the shoehorned villain, the buildup of this show is great. Like, the mystery, what the fuck's going on, what's happening, and then when you find out it is Wanda, the fact that, like, for a while they're actually telling you and you're making you think that, like, this hero, this character who has held hero status in our film franchise for so long is now villain. That is intriguing enough, and that makes you want to continue to watch. And that's what drew me in and made me want to continue to watch, because I was just like, the whole time I was like, wait till Vision finds out this, even though it's before you find out that he's this, like, fake construct she's made, you're like, this seems to be a Vision who has his own free will. And I'm like, wait till he finds out that Wanda's just gone full terrorist. It was very compelling, and I really wanted to watch more of it. I was also really excited because I heard that the actor that plays Quicksilver in the X-Men movies is in this playing Quicksilver, and I was just like, are they teasing? Like, because Disney owns Fox. They bought Fox. They have X-Men now. I was like, are they teasing the fucking crossover finally? No, they're not. But anyway, that's not, like, fuck you guys for teasing that and not delivering on it. But overall, I was pretty enthralled. Me and my wife, we binged watched it, I think, in 2 days. I think we started it at night, and then we finished it, like, the next early morning. Woke up, had breakfast, finished it. It was really good. It was really good. It gives me hope for Disney and Disney Plus doing more of these mini-series. And it was honestly really convenient just having it right there, being able to watch it in our home. I think this would be a smart way to continue to do the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Do for the individual characters and their stories. You know, you got your big Avengers shit, like, you know, Avengers, Age of Ultron, Infinity War, Endgame, Civil War. Even though it's called Captain America, like, that was it spanned pretty much, like, almost every character in the universe. That was a big movie. You got those big stories like that deserve the proper treatment up on the silver screen in a theater. But when it comes to the individual character stories, this whole miniseries idea is actually pretty good, and I kind of like it. So that might be a way that they go in the future. I don't know, but overall, I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10. I'm gonna take 3 points off for those three things that I did not like. 7 out of 10, which is still good in my book. You know, if that's it's a C average, which has always been good for me. Anyway, but yeah, let me know what you guys thought about WandaVision. Leave some comments below. Please like the video if you liked what you saw here. Give me some feedback. Let me know what you guys thought. Do you agree with what I think? Do you disagree? Some different inputs. Let's start a dialogue, get a conversation started. Check out some of my other videos. Check out the channel. Subscribe if you like, and I will see you guys next time.